Hello, and welcome to another week of Burning Hearts, our 2026 Bible reading plan. This is an exciting week. We get to read an entire letter this week, the first letter of Peter. This letter is, of course, written by Peter, Jesus' head follower. This was years and years after the resurrection and ascension and the beginning of the mission. He writes this to a bunch of Jesus followers who are spread throughout Asia Minor. And so these are all Christians who are trying to figure out how to follow Jesus in a world that is a little bit hostile to them. And so the letter has a lot of, it speaks to those who are suffering because of their faith, suffering for following Jesus, or just suffering in general. And it's a letter that I think does three things, maybe three or four. The first thing is it gives an enormous burst of energy and life and hope because of the good news of Jesus, the promise of Jesus. You'll see it when you begin to read the letter in chapter 1. And this is the kind of thing where you want to let the words that Peter has written here, you want to let them fill your heart, fill your imagination, because these are the kind of words that you want to hold on to, especially when you are in the midst of suffering. There's just great promises made especially in the first chapter. That's the first thing I'm thinking. The second thing I'm thinking is, in times of suffering, it is natural to doubt who we are, to doubt our identity, to lose track of who we are. And this is what the first letter of Peter does so well. It reinforms, reinvigorates, reestablishes our identity in Christ. And you see this a lot in the second chapter. He is reminding us that we are God's temple. He does it in a totally different way than Paul does it, or in the book of Acts. Remember, I talked about the Spirit coming, and this is the new temple. He just pretty much comes out and says it. We're living stones that are being built into a spiritual house, a house of the Spirit. It's a temple. And then he calls us a holy priesthood. And this is all stuff from the great passages from the Exodus and from that narrative. I've talked about that a lot. So another thing that he's doing in this is he is pulling together so many huge, big themes, words, concepts from the Old Testament, especially from Genesis, Exodus, just pulling together all this awesome stuff and pulling it into 1 Peter. 1 Peter is one of those letters where if you know your Old Testament well, it's going to sing for you. So that's the second or third thing it's doing. I think I lost track of what it's doing. One of the things it's doing is giving us a real kind of sober, serious picture of what it looks like to follow Jesus in the midst of a world where it's very difficult to do that. There's a lot of practical instructions here. There's a lot of stuff about how to engage with a world that is that causes you suffering, that wants to subject you. It's about humility. It's about following Jesus' example. You'll see a lot of stuff like that. It's just really good to pay attention to. A lot about how to go through suffering while maintaining your faith, following Jesus through suffering. That's what a lot of this is about. There's a lot there. Then the final chapter, in chapter 5, it really is all about it's about living with a future hope, really, and kind of what that looks like. 1 Peter, it is a very it's very rich. It's a letter that every time I read it and take time to read it and sit with it, I forget how wonderful it is, and I want to spend more time with it. And so I want to encourage you to spend more time with Peter's first letter. There's so much to read, so much to get from it. Check out the Bible Project's summary video of 1 Peter. It is excellent. It's a good letter to sit with, and if you have a Bible, a study Bible or something that has references from the Old Testament, sit with it and look back at some of the stories, at some of the passages that Peter is referring to, because it's rich and there's so much to it. Have a great week of reading. Let me know if you have any questions. Please come talk to me, and I'll see you soon.